Wild elephant charges tourist. Tragedy on sunrise safari. British and New Zealand tourist killed by charging elephant in Zambia. In a heartbreaking incident at South Longwa National Park in Zambia, a 68-year-old British tourist and a 67-year-old friend from New Zealand were killed by a charging elephant during a guided sunrise safari walk on Thursday morning. Let's get into the thick of it in today's AI podcast episode.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something quite serious. We're looking at the unpredictable, sometimes tragic side of wildlife safaris in Zambia. We've been digging into sources like deadly safari, elephant attacks in Zambia, and, well, our aim is to help you understand the reality of wilderness tourism and what safety truly means out there. Let's start with a very recent and incredibly sad incident. A 68-year-old British woman and her 67-year-old friend from New Zealand. They were on a walking safari in South Longwa National Park. They were killed by a charging female elephant. It had a calf with it.
And what's, immediately striking from the sources here is the context. Female elephants with young calves are, well, they're instinctively incredibly defensive. It's not random aggression, it's pure protection. If they sense any threat to that calf, they can become extremely dangerous. And crucially, their perception of a threat, it's often very different from ours.
That protective instinct is key. And the details of how this happened are critical, according to our sources. The group, they apparently got out of their vehicle near the Maramba Cultural Bridge in Livingston. Now, that's a major point because doing that is against national park rules. It seems they were stuck in traffic, actually caused by a herd of elephants passing by. So there they were, on foot, very close to the animals.
Right, and that's when the charge happened.
Exactly. The guides reacted. They fired shots to try and deter the elephant. It seems the animal was hit, wounded even, but it just wasn't enough to stop the charge. Both women tragically died right there.
And you see, leaving the vehicle, especially when a herd is present, it fundamentally changes the situation for the elephant. Our sources highlight this intersection, human proximity and perceived threat, especially with mothers. An elephant might see a vehicle as just, well, a large object. Annoying, maybe, but people on foot. Suddenly, it's a direct, vulnerable, potential threat right in their space. That's a totally different calculation for the animal.
That distinction is vital. And it leads to the next point. This isn't, unfortunately, a one-off event. Our sources make it clear this is part of a concerning pattern in Zambia recently. Just earlier this year, Gail Matson, 79, from Minnesota, she was killed in Kafu National Park. An elephant charged their safari vehicle, flipped it over. She died, and 5 others were injured.
A truly horrific incident, and it shows the immense power involved.
It really does. And then last year, 2 other American tourists died in separate elephant encounters. One was Juliana Glaterno, 64, from New Mexico.
It's sobering. You're dealing with immense force, incredible speed. As the sources detail, it's not just a large animal moving, it's raw power. And we should also mention the pressure on the guides, They're constantly juggling guest expectations, trying to provide that close encounter while sticking to safety rules in a very unpredictable environment.
Absolutely. It's a high-stakes balancing act.
And when protocols get bypassed, like getting out of a vehicle inappropriately, the guides are left facing potentially impossible situations in a split second.
So these awful events, they really underscore the unpredictable nature of the wild. But also, they highlight how critical following safety protocols is. The message seems to be that while wildlife is unpredictable, some of these tragedies, like the one near the bridge, seem directly linked to, preventable human actions.
Exactly. And if we step back and look at the bigger picture, what do we take away from this? The value of knowing this isn't just academic, it's about application. It pushes us towards critical thinking. Understanding the risks, truly respecting that these are wild environments, not controlled theme parks, which raises a fundamental question, doesn't it?
Go on.
How do we, as visitors drawn to these incredible wild places, balance that desire for an immersive experience with the absolute need to follow the safety rules? Rules based on understanding animal behavior and past incidents. Recognizing that often our adherence to those protocols is the key factor in staying safe.
That's the crucial tension. So, thinking about all this, the power, the unpredictability, the rules, it leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. When you plan your own adventure into the wild, what does being truly well-informed actually mean to you?
Should walking safaris in areas with known elephant activity be banned or better regulated? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.